Welcome to a special episode of Unstoppable Overcomers, where I have my amazing friend Jessica Gehl on here. Jessica is from the Chatham-Kent area, and I met this amazing lady about a year ago, I think it was, and she had shared her story on Dare to Declare, and her story was so powerful, and I'm going to let her tell it, but this woman is absolutely freaking amazing. So if you don't know her, you do need to know her. And with that, Jessica, I'm going to turn it over to you so that you could share your story.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Dorothy. Welcome, everybody that has joined us this evening. And get your Kleenex and get ready.
I didn't bring any. Oh, I should have.
I got mine. So my name is Jessica, and I am not an alcoholic. However, I am a cancer patient. And I have been dealing with this disease since 2013 myself. It was a stage 1 original diagnosis, and unfortunately 5 years later it came back, and I'm a stage 4 diagnosis. So what does that mean? That means that there's a 28% chance that I will live past 5 years since diagnosis. So I have, on their watch, 2.5 years left. But you know what? My hashtag, I'm not a stat, so not me. Sorry. So to start where it began, I was living out in Calgary. I found a lump. My mother actually had been diagnosed with breast cancer 2 years prior. I found this lump. I went to the doctor. We did a biopsy, and it was DCIS, which they call stage 0 cancer. Once they actually got in and did my first lumpectomy, they realized that there were some invasive cancer cells in there. So with that said, we had to go back in and do another surgery and remove further lymph nodes to ensure that there wasn't anything spreading through my body, and as well to get a clear margin on where they took that lumpectomy from. So after that, I did 4 rounds of IV chemotherapy, which made me bald and beautiful and fat. But it was what it was, and I was still living out in Calgary, Alberta. So if my mother wasn't there, I had some great friends out there, Laura, Mandy, Diane, and anybody else that I'm forgetting, Heather, Whitney. And they would come and just fill in and make sure everything happened for me, and life was easier for me that way. Fast forward, I did, I think 16 rounds of radiation. And after that, the doctor set you free. You're done. So after living this very regimented schedule, for instance, radiation is every day, but of course, cancer takes holidays on the weekends. So you don't do treatments on the weekends. And that was it. Fly the nest. See you later. So about 3 months later, I ended up finding a lump on my left breast, and of course put my head into a complete tailspin. We ended up getting that biopsied as well. It was benign, thank God. However, my headspace still was not very good. They don't tell you with a cancer diagnosis that the treatment's really the easy part. The hard part is post-treatment, when everybody goes away and thinks you're better and your mental capacity is squashed. So I tried to rush back into my old life. I tried to go back into my job. I was doing oil logistics, and they asked me to take more time off work, and I basically became suicidal. In December of 2014, I bought things to hang myself, and I booked a trip to do it. And thank God for my therapist, Dr. Taylor, in Calgary, for saving my life. So after we got through that and a lot of counseling, I decided that, you know what, maybe I needed to change my career again, do something that wasn't as stressful and demanding. And so I switched back to being an executive assistant, because that's pretty straightforward. After you do it for 20 years, it's pretty autopilot for me. And so I did that, and I was doing great and having a good time at my employer, because I went back to an old employer. And I started getting really bad shoulder pain in my right shoulder. And I was like, well, I haven't fallen. I don't know what's going on. And I thought because I've had in total at that time 6 surgeries, that maybe it was just frozen shoulder because you're trying to heal all the time and you don't want to move the arm. So I went to physiotherapy. I went to chiro. I went to massage, and it wasn't getting better. So I finally approached breast cancer supportive care in Calgary, Alberta, and said, I think I need a bone scan. My mother had had a recurrence diagnosis as well. So I needed to make sure that this wasn't recurring for me. Thank God I did, and I pushed for it because they found cancer in my right scapula. So I didn't really believe it. So I requested them to do a bone biopsy to confirm that. And that wasn't pleasant at all, but it did confirm our worst fears that the cancer, my breast cancer, had spread to my bones. So for the first little while, you just look at stage 4, I'm going to die. There's no cure, I'm going to die. And that's a tough reality sometimes. But I decided that I needed to take control any way I could. So we started treatment, and I had a phenomenal boss, and his wife had recommended that I go off to this health institute in West Palm Beach called Hippocrates. And it was a 3-week stay in a life transformation program, very expensive. And it was there that I realized that I'm not going to die. I'm actually going to live. And I'm going to live finally, because I never actually lived before.
Right.
So
that is one hell of an amazing story so far. And I thank you for being brave enough to definitely share your story. We do have a friend of yours on here, mutual friend, Amy Brooks. That is so true. Everyone is over for everyone after chemo except for the survivors, and that is so true. And I like how you said that the community of people around you, is what brought you through the first time. And I guess as a daughter of a cancer patient, I check in on my dad every day, but then you don't know what's really going through their head at that time, and it must be absolutely freaking scary. To know that you have this diagnosis and it could potentially, kill you. But yeah. But you are like such a fighter. You are just like such an inspiration. And I see your posts on Facebook, when you go for your bone scans and your CT scans and things like that. And I pray for you daily. I really do, because I've been watching your journey, and I know at one point we had talked about doing some shooting at the range, and that's still on. I was waiting for the pandemic to cut it so that we can actually see each other. So that is still on. My brother's like, oh, for sure, not a problem. For those of you that don't know that backstory, I had shared with Jessica that I had taken my Bible study to the shooting range. My brother is a hunter. He has his license. He's got guns. They're all licensed to him. And, and it was the best time of our lives. So I had just mentioned it casually to Jessica. She goes, oh my gosh, she lives out in the country and she loves that kind of stuff, and I'm like, well, perfect. We'll set a date. And then the pandemic hit.
Yeah. But we're still going to do that.
We're still going to do it. We are so doing it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what was your, going through all that, and then, when you said that you had felt like you wanted to end it and you had actually bought the stuff to do that for, I thank God that you decided to reach out for help, because a lot of people would not have reached out for help. And, I just applaud you for doing that, because, a lot of people wouldn't. And I just really applaud you for doing that.
Thank you. Yeah, it was just a really tough time, really dark clouds, but yeah, so I made it through that, like I said. And then my wonderful boss sent me to this health institute called Hippocrates in West Palm Beach, Florida. It is all raw, vegan. Fruit is only brought in twice a week because it's still a sugar. I had a breakdown the first probably 48, 72 hours. All of my friends know that well because I was on the phone with them. But the things that I learned there were priceless. The information, because they take a non-conventional approach to healing yourself. And since there is a non-conventional, or since there is no conventional cure to my disease, I need to take an integrated approach. So learning what I did there, again, like I said, was just priceless. And it was there that a woman came up to me and she goes, "Why are you here?" And I said, "Well, I have stage 4 cancer." And she grabbed a hold of my arms and she told me, "You don't have it. Your body has it. Do not own it, because then it'll own you."
Yeah.
So ever since then, I don't have cancer. My body has cancer. I go do treatments for the cancer in my body. And just that mind shift made me realize, you know what? I'm not taking this lying down, and I'm going to be the poster child for beating it. Forget it. 5 years, here we come. And I when I went back to Calgary after that, I had also realized I had broken up with a boyfriend. And I just decided there's no cure. It's time to move home. So I packed up the truck and I moved to Beverly. I didn't pack up the truck. Somebody else did, because I'm too old to do that kind of stuff. And I moved home. So it's been a year and a half, and I had a house still in Calgary that didn't sell because, of course, it's a economic crisis there.
Right.
So I just left my house and said, God will take care of it, because I got to go. So I went and I found a management company, got renters. Fast forward a year, I needed to move out of where I was renting when I first moved back. This house here that I'm in now became available. My renters bought my house within the same week that I bought this house.
Wow.
So yeah, so now I'm in my forever home. I'm 5 minutes from the lake. I have the most beautiful gardens that have probably been around for 40 years, and they're a lot to maintain, but it's just, I'm at peace here. And it was unfortunate that a pandemic happened as soon as I moved home, basically. But at the same time, I have taken my own precautions, and I have still made time to see those that I needed support from.
Right. So definitely hearing your story, I definitely hear a story of faith, woven throughout your story. So I'm assuming that, because I don't know about you, but I believe that we go through everything for a reason, and God's always going to be there with you, one step ahead. And like you said, as soon as you took that step, He sold the house and things like that. So would you say that is definitely what's got you through pretty
Absolutely.
much every single trial?
It has, and it's been difficult as well with a pandemic, because again, I left my Christian family in Calgary. I came here. I wasn't able to establish one prior to the pandemic happening. So I have missed that. However, I went to Rock Point in Bearspaw in Calgary, Alberta, and they're in a big city. They have a big budget, so all of their sermons are online. And actually, after we're done here tonight, every Wednesday they have a stillness hour, and we do a scripture and we discuss it, and it's live on Facebook, so anybody can join it. But it's definitely brought me closer with my faith throughout this situation, and more every day when I do see the miracles that He does for me.
Yeah, for sure. He's definitely in the miracle business.
and how I worked through Him, like I went and I got a CAT scan Monday, and there was another woman sitting across the waiting room, and she had cancer, I assumed, because, people with alopecia aren't usually going for a CAT scan and a ball cap when they're bald. So I waited till they put her IV in, and then I walked over to a different area where she was sitting, and I just reached out to her and just said, "Metastatic breast cancer. What about you?" And she goes, "Me too." So
Oh my.
needless to say, we've exchanged phone numbers. I've let her know, like she's just starting on this journey. I'm a veteran, been doing this for 8 years. Fortunate enough that I lived in Calgary. I have so much knowledge. Um, I just am constantly researching here and advocating for myself, which seems very difficult in this province versus Alberta, um, and trying to teach other people how to, and offering people, if you need me on a phone call with you, I don't mind. You need me to get you something, you need a ride, let me know. I don't mind, right? So, and that's how I'm serving him, is that through this journey, yeah, it sucks, but you know what? Everybody else's sucks too, regardless if it's cancer or not.
Mhm.
And and if I can help somebody with hope, and even with a couple of the girls in my, I started Chatham Kent Cancer Support online through Facebook, and even a couple of girls in there, we chit chat and we bounce ideas off each other. And I just found some interesting information on a blood test that is done through Canexia Health out in BC. That's for a limited time. And so I've shared that with everybody. I've gotten it. My mother's gotten it. And what this does is it helps, it pulls they pull the plasma out of your blood. Then in that blood, you will have ctDNA, which is basically dead cancer cells. They will tear that apart. They'll run it through 146 different tests, and they'll be able to let you know which specific proteins and whatnot are in your blood. So a lot of the targeted therapies coming out now, target certain proteins. So therefore, I'm on one that's working now, but if this test comes back and says, oh, I have this one and this one, then they can say, oh my God, we're going to go over here.
Mhm.
So it's awesome that they're coming out with more tools. It's awesome that I'm able to share this with people, because knowledge is power. So
Exactly. And you're 100% correct when you said you're out there helping people, because as soon as you shared your story on Deb's Dare to Share, my dad had just been diagnosed with cancer for the first time. And I was like, I don't want to ask this woman, because obviously like she's going through her own hell. So it's like I didn't want to reach out, but then I did, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I was panicking because I didn't know too much about it, and well, not really panicking because I knew God had him, but like it was is something different, right? I mean, we've faced other health issues, but we've never faced this before up till that time, and you were just so amazing, giving me all the types of information and things like that. So I do truly appreciate you doing that as well. So
pleasure. That's what
yeah.
I'm on this earth for.
Your friend Julie says the pain the story gives me every time I hear it is immeasurable. Thank God for you every day. On Dan Street. And your friend Diane, so proud of you, missed you.
So
You
yeah, so
definitely have a huge support system. So you said throughout your story a couple times, you said that you've definitely had to advocate for yourself. I've heard that a lot lately. Even with, I've heard Amy's story as well, and I've reached out to her as well. And I've heard a lot that a lot of people have to keep on pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing to get the test needed. And I'm like, that is so.
not cool.
I'll keep it clean and say, like, that just blows my mind that we have to advocate so badly for ourselves. And my dad's just like, oh, whatever the doctors say. And I'm like, no, like
No way.
no. And I've even done some research with some herbal stuff. There's this guy named Jack out of the Kingsville area that helps cancer patients too, and using like a very strict diet and CBD oils and things like that. That he's cured people, helps cure people of their cancer without radiation and chemo.
Yeah,
But my dad wanted to do the route of the medical physician, which I had to respect what he wanted. But I'm like, let's just give this a try, because I'm telling you, chemo is like, and I know some people have to have it, and that's fine. But it's just like, I don't know what's worse, the cancer or the chemo sometimes,
absolutely. And that's it for me. Like, I really don't want to be on conventional treatment at all, but I can't trust my my willpower and my strictness of my diet in order to do that, because I would have to be fully raw, fully sprouted, vegan, and and I also would like to really at some point try the Rick Simpson cannabis oil route. I do have a cannabis consultant out in BC named Corey Yoland, and she's actually an international speaker. She cured her own stage 4 cancer, colon cancer, with cannabis oil. Um, she's cured and helped so many people, and of course, it is at a cost. Um, that cost right now, I just bought a house. I have other costs, and my cancer's stable, so I have that in my back pocket as this is an option that I'm going to pull out at some point, just not quite yet.
Right. Exactly. And your friend Heather thanks God for you every day too. She's bawling. Oh,
I'm bawling. Stop, Heather.
Oh, you're bowling. Waiting 9 months to get somebody to listen to me was mind blowing. It's ridiculous. It is. It totally is. And then, and then you get the diagnosis 3 to 6 months, and then but unless you do treatment, but we're really not sure what treatment we can give you. And let's go to London. For those of you, there's some Americans on here too. For those of you that don't know where London is, it's about an hour away from where I live in the border city of Windsor. So, and my parents live halfway. So like an hour and a half to try and go get treatment that may or may not work. That's experimental. I don't know. I think we could do better in our medical system. That's all. I'm saying.
And even in my my situation, like Alberta ran like an oiled machine, and I understand that they're a smaller province and they have more funds, but their systems were amazing. I never had to worry about following up anything. They were on top of it. When I came back here, I went to London. I was so about my care. Ended up that we found that my left implant was actually leaking inside of me. It was encapsulated, but it was still leaking. And the right one was capsular contracture, which means that basically it was being squeezed and felt like what are those little flotation devices? Mm-hmm. And so I had said to her, okay, well, I need a surgeon. And I did a little bit of research and said, this is a surgeon that I would like. I need a referral from you. Brought her the form, everything.
Yeah.
5 weeks and 3 days later, I find out that it was still sitting on her desk.
Oh my gosh.
Silver lining of my mother being a cancer patient, I now go to Windsor and have a great doctor who is on top of my care and doesn't try to make excuses as to why something was on somebody's desk for 5 weeks and 3 days. So
I will give a shout out to the Windsor Cancer Clinic and Dr. Finke's team. I'm not sure who your doctor is, but we have a Finke. Okay. And I forget who his radiologist was, but his oncologist is Finke, and amazing people. When he had to call my dad the second time for the second diagnosis of liver cancer, the man was on the phone crying and had to hang up and say, I'll call you right back. Just give me a minute and I'll call you right back. So from start to finish, like when we first started, because we had no idea, they brought us in, they showed us around. That was, of course, just before COVID hit. Yeah. And I was able to go to his first treatment, and that was good. And like you said, waiting in the waiting room and seeing the other patients and the other family members of the patients and just talking to them. And it's like you're like a close community yourself, and just being there for each other. And to me, that it made me feel better of the fact that, we were going through this.
You're not alone.
Exactly. You're not alone. And that's the whole premise of why I do the show, is because of everything that I've been through. And in those moments you feel like you're alone, but I don't want anybody in the world to feel like they're alone. There's, they just have to reach out. And that's why we're here. Right.
Yeah. And that's why I've even started to use my TikTok as a platform to share my story, because it reaches people and it helps people. And I see other metastatic breast cancer TikTokers, and like you said, we just kind of become a community. And it's like we've never met, but it's like, I get you.
Yeah, exactly. My friend Jenny, she's from Denver, and I'm not sure what RSO is, but I'm sure you might. She is a dealer
Oh, yeah.
with CBD.
Oil.
So
Yeah.
that, yeah, yeah. Uh, and Heather says you're always on the ball. You're on the ball together. Uh, yeah. So if you have different people too for CBD. If anybody, you might want to connect with Jenny. Is all I'm saying, just to
Yeah.
see, because she is in that as well. That's all.
Yeah.
I'll just let you two
Okay.
connect.
Yeah, for sure. I appreciate that.
Yeah, Rick Simpson oil. Yes, I've
Yeah.
heard of that. When I was doing some Dr. Hang. Yes, I think Dr. Hang was my dad's radiologist.
Okay.
I
Or
think.
I know there's Dr. Springer there as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It was a blur. I only met her the one time.
It usually is a blur.
Yeah. Well, I just love sitting your first appointment is 3 hours, and they didn't prep me for that. So
No.
and then you have to like and right on the bat, like in your first, do you want a DNR? Do you want this? Do you want that? And my parents are sitting there like, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm going through power of attorneys for the last couple of weeks. So anyways, so as of their power of attorney, I just said, I know what he wants, and it's do not resuscitate if there's any chance of being brain dead. So, if there's a chance that he's coming back and he's okay, then fine. But if not, no.
Yeah.
And they're like, my mom's like, thank you for answering that. And it's just like, well, how are they supposed to answer that when they just found out that he's got cancer? Yep. We don't know what we're doing. And it's mind blowing.
Well, and to be honest, everybody, when they hear those words, they think they're going to die. And you know what? Some people do die right away. And that's really unfortunate. But, I mean, you've just got to realize that acceptance, and I'm a control freak. I know it's hard to believe that, but so having cancer for me has been extremely difficult in the sense of I have to ask people for help. My house right now is an absolute disaster, but it is what it is. My friend, I don't know if Tracy's on here, but Tracy, she comes over and yells at me and folds all my laundry and then yells at me to put it away. And then I put something just on the bed and she said, is that a drawer? So, and I need these things, because these are the things that I miss independent. I have done life on my own all my life. And now it's been humbling through cancer to have to ask people for help and be okay with it and realize that it's not a weakness. It's not a weakness at all.
Nope.
It's just that shit happens and I need help.
Exactly. So. And I'm sure, like with my dad, he's got his good days, he's got his bad days, and then he's got his really shitty days. And then, in those days to just leave him alone, give him what he needs. And then the good days, like he's out mowing 10 lawns. He's got a riding lawnmower, but he's out there mowing 10 lawns for extra money and things like that. And the man just goes. He's like the Energizer Bunny. But on those days that he's bad, it because he just doesn't leave his chair.
Yeah, and that's kind of how I was yesterday. I had to go into town and get my vitamin IV, and then I had an issue with Life Labs. Yes, I said it, Life Labs. Go to Dynacare, don't go to Life Labs. And I ended up coming home, and I couldn't even sleep. I had to take an anti-anxiety drug after laying in bed for an hour because I was still just like... So, and today's a better day, but I'm looking forward to actually going to bed early tonight and hopefully sleeping a long sleep. Not forever, just a long night's sleep.
What is that? I'm up at 3:30 every morning, between 3:30 and 4. I don't know what a long sleep is. Dr. Gupta is amazing. Oh, that's good.
Yeah, she was Julie's mom's doctor as well.
And Jenny wants to connect with you. That's the friend from Denver.
For sure we will, Jenny.
The world needs to realize cancer is just a word. It's no longer a death sentence. But 4 years in, my body no longer the same. It's the new normal, and my strength has never come back. But family and friends don't understand it. And that is so true. Like
100%.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
people say to me like, God, like, how do you just go all the time? And it's like, well, I get 10 hours sleep a night, and I usually do stuff first thing in the morning because if I don't do anything until like 2 p.m, it's not happening, right? But if I start in the morning and I pace myself, and then if I'm out of the house, then I'm pretty good, But yeah, I might have to sleep 12 hours that night. And like my mother always says, you're doing too much. And it's like, you know what? One day I'm not going to be able to do anything. So until then, I'm going to always do too much. Because like I said before, I mean, we all go through life in autopilot, and a lot of people don't really live, and nor did I. I was a workaholic in Calgary, Alberta. Didn't really, thought about the mighty dollar and how to get ahead in my career. And now it's a whole different ball game, and things are a different priority now. And you need to stop and smell the roses. And are you stressed out about next week? Because if you are, don't worry about it, because something might happen tomorrow. So next week's irrelevant. And for me, I still find myself doing that as well. But I mean, when you live to learn to live in the moment, it's like a stress gone immediately.
Yep.
And the fact that the cancer is not in my control, well, it's tough to accept, but it is. So you know what I mean? I just try and do the things that I can control, and hope that my doctors reciprocate properly.
Well, as a fellow control freak and ex workaholic, I'm still working on that. But I've learned to let go and just be, and that's hard. That's the hardest thing ever, because you're so used to go, 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 and going from one thing to the next. And somebody's like, "Why don't you just try being who you are instead of doing who you are?" And it took me a while to grasp that and really understand that. And yeah. I don't have a life-threatening illness, but I mean, it runs in the family. And I'm not wishing that on myself at all, but I'm cautious because, for years, I'm just like doing what everybody wanted me to do. And now I'm doing what I love to do, which is out here helping people, and showcasing amazing people like yourself. And, and that's truly what I could be so tired. And then when I go to do my show, it's just like, I'm awake. Let's just go.
Because it's your passion, right? It's your passion. It kind of like when I'm helping people with cancer, if I get into a conversation, like I'm just like, okay, well, what can I help? Can we do this? You can do this and this. And oh, did you just get diagnosed? Buy a binder and ask for copies of everything. Top thing I always say to people, get a book and a pen, keep it in your purse. Write down questions. Ask the doctor if you can record them during your appointments. It's unfortunate in Ontario that they don't have something like they did in Alberta. In Alberta, they had this conversation care app. So you could actually, and that's what it was for. It was to record during your doctor's appointments. You could actually, if you had questions as you thought coming up to your appointment, you write them in the app. And then the day of your appointment, it all popped up. Asked you if you wanted to still record. You hit record. You ask all your questions. And it was quite an amazing little tool. So it's unfortunate. Come on, Ontario Health.
Yeah, really. I mean, because my dad forgets everything. By the time he's done the appointment, it's like, what did the doctor say? Oh, I don't remember. Seriously?
Yeah. And that's what I try to tell people too is, take a friend in.
Yeah.
And if they can't come in, get them on the phone and put the phone on speaker.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot of information. And I mean, whether you're 30 or 60, it's overwhelming regardless.
Yeah. So Jenny's saying, you'll probably tell, yeah, she is a little bit of a control freak. Let's talk about anxiety CBD that may help. Abby Jules is another person that I know too that's in the Mississauga area. She is a doctor as well, and she may know the strain that would be used here in Canada.
Okay.
You're an inspiration to everybody. Love and appreciate you. From Heather.
Thank you, Heather.
It's so hard to be in any situation. Exactly. Once learned, we never go back. They will not let us send hemp CBD products across the border. Wow. Maybe I don't understand that because Trudeau's really big on marijuana and legalizing it, so I don't understand.
Vacuum seal is no problem. Let's just say that.
He's probably done it a couple times. Oh, yes, you can say how awesome Jessica is, Stacy. Um, she's so awesome that I strive to have her outlook on life. She's made better person to recognize how precious each day is. Her hugs are life. Oh,
Well, thanks, Stacy.
that's awesome.
Oh.
You definitely have a huge fan base, and that's awesome. And I'm sure that's what helps you get through a lot of the dark moments or the moments where, you feel like giving up. But I know you're never going to give up.
No, and that's one thing that I did learn through life, through my career, and even more through cancer, is how to foster your relationships. And I mean, when I talk to people and I say, "Oh yeah, I talked to such a," you still talk to that person? We haven't seen them since like grade 4, and I'm like, so, and it's just nice to. I miss my Calgary peeps. I miss them a lot. But when I lived in Alberta, I had a constant anxiety of who's my safety net? Who's my safety net? Who's my safety net? Because I never had one. And like when I was diagnosed the first time, I had a boyfriend of 7 years, and he broke up with me 10 days after I was diagnosed. So, you know what I mean? Like it was just an opportunity, is how I looked at it. Yeah, cancer, whatever. But to me, it was like, here's a silver lining. I can move home to Ontario, be around my friends. And a lot of my friends are actually I've known since grade school, um, be around my family and enjoy my life. And ever since I've been here, I don't have that same anxiety of my safety net, because I know that I have a lot of people holding the parachute here for me. And I had a lot of people in Calgary, but I have a lot more people here, and I just needed that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Definitely needing the safety net for sure.
yeah.
And they love having you back home.
Thanks, Melissa.
That is, oh, and we have another one. That's why you're so amazing. Looking for the silver lining. Exactly. Exactly.
Always. And there's always one. Sometimes you can't find it for a few days, but there is one somewhere, most times.
Exactly. And through everything too, I mean, like different treatments and everything gets you through, but I think having that positive mindset is really what gets a lot of us through a lot of different things, cancer included.
Yeah.
My aunt was diagnosed. She went 10 years. She had a lump underneath her underneath her armpit. So
Okay.
she I truly believe that she knew she had cancer, but she did not like going to doctors. And so she waited until it busted open, which was too late. And obviously she was diagnosed with cancer, and it had gone through her lymph nodes and through everything. So they said, we only give you like the year top, 6 months to a year tops. And I hate when they do that, because how do you know? Like, you're not God. You don't know what someone's time limit. And when you give us a time limit, it freaks us out even more at the beginning. But her outlook right from the beginning was, nope, I got to be here for my kids. So she ended up having different treatments, and she had this like a pill underneath her skin, which I remember was one of the ones that she had.
There's seeds. Yeah, I've read up on those for certain kinds of cancers. And
yeah, and she ended up living 2.5 years. But I mean, I hate it when they give people a timeline.
Well, and that's just it. Like with metastatic, right away, like I said, right away I was like, okay, I'm gonna die next year, because I had two friends in Calgary that died of this disease within a year.
Oh wow.
And they went from my healthiness to expiring in months. And so for the first little while, I kept thinking, and one of them came back in her shoulder. So right away, that's what I painted my brush with, is that I'm going to be just like Michelle. And Michelle passed away. And then Deeky, she always called me her good luck charm. And she was like my special friend. And I never did tell her that I had a recurrence, because she didn't need to know. And unfortunately, she passed away as well. And so for me to get my mind around, and I still have those days, because like, for instance, right now I'm waiting for scan results, and all that's going through my mind is, has it spread? Has it spread? It hurts here. Is that something? Has it spread? I've eaten a lot of sugar. Did I just screw myself by eating all this sugar? they've delayed my drugs because nobody knows how to do logistical paperwork in Ontario. So now I was supposed to start my chemo last Friday. Well, they still don't have blood work. And I just said, you know what? My life's busy. I'm taking a month off and we're going to start chemo again on the 15th of July. But again, in the back of my head, I'm like, well, does that mean it's going to spread? Is it going to spread? Is it going to spread? So it is a very tough balancing act in my head. I do always portray strong and happy, but I also do try to portray those days. Like I have a couple TikTok videos of me just bawling my eyes out because I'm real and that's the reality. Like, yeah, I know I'm gonna die. We're all gonna die. You know what I mean? But like maybe the garbage truck will hit me because it goes so god darn fast down the road in front of my house. Like you just never know, right? But it is a tough mindset. And even with my mom, you know, she's on a second line of treatment versus what I'm on. And they lowered her dosage because of her kidney function. And her and I talk quite candidly because we can. And I could just tell, I said, you're afraid to die, aren't you? And she goes, I am. And I said, no. I said, hang on a minute. And so I'm on this Metastatic Breast Cancer website. And I just wrote on there, I need some info of how many types and lines of treatment there are for MBC. This is what I have. This is what my mother has. Thank you so much in advance. Well, that's how we found out about the follow-it test that I just explained about. It also, a couple of the other ladies in that group had posted pictures that they had gotten out of different presentations, because I know that there was like the anti-cancer summit recently and an immunization immunology one that's just recently happened. And it's just, you know, the information. And then I showed my mom and I'm like, see, like, so it's just I love helping other people because then I don't think about me. So
Wait a minute. Okay, we just had a conversation before we went live about self-care. So, Miss Jessica, what do you do for your self-care?
well, I go for a 2-hour massage every 3 weeks.
Ooh.
This weekend is my birthday weekend, so I have got myself and the man in my life a hotel room over at the Wandering Dog Inn on Peely Island.
Ooh.
And we're going. Our phones don't work over there. That's the key. And you know, I just need time to just like not have to make a decision. I don't want to talk to anybody. I just want to be, like you said before, I just want to be. I want to meditate. I want to get grounded again and you know, regenerate so that, you know, when I come back, I can be okay. Now what do we have to do again? Because right now I'm really tired. I'm really frustrated and I'm really stressed out because I'm waiting on these results and I can only make so much pickled asparagus and strawberry jam.
It sounds amazing. It truly does. And that's funny that you said the 3-hour massage because I just went for a 45-minute massage before I came home to do the show. So I would like love a 3-hour massage, and so would my body.
2 hours, but
2 hours.
Every 3
Every
weeks.
3 weeks. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I got that messed up. See, it's.
I mean, trust me, I'd love a 3-hour every 2 weeks, but maybe when I win the lottery, I'll hire a chef and a masseuse, and my life will be set.
Well, I have the winning ticket for tomorrow night's draw, and I already told my amazing masseuse, Mary Lesbrance, if you need a massage therapist in the Windsor area, please see me because Mary Lesbrance is absolutely freaking amazing. Just putting that out there. And I told her that her and I will have a date weekly and possibly even daily.
Yep.
Because like my neck and my shoulders and my back are all full of knots, having to deal with the stuff that I've been dealing with. So anyways, so yeah, so her and I are going to have a weekly date.
That's probably a good idea.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
Diane says you have an amazing dog who loves you as well.
Yes, I do.
I love Amy's advice here. She told her oncologist that she had checked herself over naked and found no expiry date on herself. So she's not listening to expected dates. I love that, Amy. I love
That's
that.
hilarious.
Oh, she uses self-care to continue to help herself and rejuvenate her love for helping others. Yes. And happy birthday tomorrow.
29th again.
29th again.
18th anniversary of my 29th birthday. Everybody's doing the math now, Carrie.
That's not right. Well, and what's really funny is I wondered why we got along so well after knowing each other for like hardly next to no time at all. But we are like 4 days apart in birthdays. So that is actually truly amazing. So I love that.
Yeah, absolutely. The zodiac sign thing, we get it.
We totally do. Yeah. That is so awesome. Yeah. So we have about close to 14 minutes left. Is there any last minute thoughts, or does any of our viewers have any questions for Jessica? Please write them in the comments. Or any last thing that you want to leave our audience with, Jessica?
Words to live by. Life is short. Don't watch it go by. Live every day. Don't live with regrets. Don't ask permission. Beg for forgiveness.
I love that.
Take time and smell the flowers. Watch a sunset. Hug your dog. Hug your mom. Call your best friend. Because it's those things, not the tag on my purse or my clothes or where I live. It's irrelevant. And it took me a long time to realize that. So the words to live by is just don't live with any regrets and be good or be good at it. And I prefer to be good at it because it's a lot more fun.
And fun is the key to life. I truly believe that.
Yeah.
It took me 40 years to figure that out, but I finally did.
Yeah. Live in the moment. Don't give a what other people think of you is none of your business. Who cares? Just be you and love yourself, and your light will just emit. And if anybody doesn't like it, they're jealous. Exactly. So just be you and be authentic, and don't live your life for anybody but yourself, because life's short and the clock's ticking. So.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And your friend Katie says that she's known you since kindergarten and she knows your damn age.
Button it.
But she loves you so much, my beautiful friend. So.
I love you too, sweetie.
And Miss Shelby Rose loves you too.
Hi, Shelb.
And Cindy. Oh my gosh, look at all this love. Yeah. Hug your mom and your besties.
Thanks, lady. Thanks, Jules.
Get busy living. That's right.
Absolutely. So.
Yeah. Because like you said, whether you have cancer or you get hit by a Mack truck, our time is we don't know.
And
very limited.
Live life and have fun.
Yes. So does Katie have cancer too, or had cancer?
Katie is a survivor as well.
Okay.
And that's how Katie and I got reconnected after all these years, because we both had cancer right at the same time, I think. So, yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so I am throwing this out here. I know that June was Cancer Survivor Month, and that's why I opened my platform to more than just Monday nights. But because cancer is a big part of my life as well, and I want to honor all cancer survivors, cancer patients, anybody who wants to tell their story. I am going to open it up for the month of July and possibly forever. Monday nights will be the main show, and then anybody who is a cancer survivor or cancer patient that would like to come and share your story, please contact me here on Facebook at Dorothy Graham Odell, or on LinkedIn at Dorothy Ann Graham Odell.
Or you can reach out to me if you know me, and then I'll connect you.
Yes, that too. But I really want to honor the men and women that are out there fighting this disease, that have it, but it's not that their body has it, but they don't have it. Let's put it that way. I like that, and I'm
Yeah.
sticking with that. And I've had a lot of amazing people share their story on here, such as Jessica. So Jessica, like I tell you, you are absolutely amazing and such an inspiration. And I thank you for coming on here.
Thank you
And
so much for the invite, Dorothy. I love it. And this is what I'm supposed to do. And I like to spread my word, spread my story, and help wherever I can.
yes, exactly. Exactly. And I love what your friend Katie has to say. You're right. It's not just a 1 month thing. So I actually had a plan because I've always wanted to do something. I've had this dream to go to 6 kids hospital at Christmas time and just love on them and things like that. But I threw this out 2 shows ago where I wanted to do that at the Windsor Cancer Clinic. And because I know you see these people, men and women, it's shocking when you go in for the very first time and you see everybody lined up as they're doing their chemo rounds, right? And some of them look absolutely amazing and some of them look like they're on death's door. And I just want to hug them all and say, hey, you're not alone in this fight. And I'm here. And I really, I'm going to contact the Dr. Elfinke closer to Christmas and see if that's possible with the pandemic and everything. And I really want to do that. I mean, I want to do it all year round, but let's start with one thing and continue. But I really, it hits home, right? And
yeah, and I would love to help you with that initiative. Count me in. I have a contact at the Cancer Center named Brooke, and she does a lot of the peer support stuff. And she would be able to probably help us as well get an initiative like this started. And then if you like, you could do it at an annual thing or whatever. We can blow this shit up.
That's right. We could do it like a monthly thing once the world opens up again. And they allow us to do it. I love that. I'm so glad I spoke that out because it's been in my heart for years, like absolutely years. And it's like, why am I sitting on a dream that's been there forever? And I need to stop that shit. So, you know.
Yeah.
Because people don't know how much I care until I'm out there, and I care. Like I have the biggest heart next to you, and you know, and I think we could definitely encourage a lot of people. And
absolutely,
yeah, I love that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're onto something there.
I think so, but then again, I'm biased, so. And we'll start in Windsor. We'll work our way around the globe. How's that?
Hey, absolutely. I got some pretty good connections around the globe, so.
Perfect. Once the border opens, who knows what we'll do?
Right.
I have friends in Wisconsin now, and Chicago. Shout out to my girls out there. So we'll see what happens. One of them's a doctor, so I'm sure we should be able to get more around the globe and travel while sharing love and inspiration. I love that.
Absolutely. Sounds perfect, doesn't it?
Huh. Oh, wow. Okay. My dream just like exploded in front of my eyes here. Like you have no idea. Wow. Thanks, Jessica. That's your inspiration. I want to shout out to Tim Shawn because Tim Shawn gave me the idea to host cancer survivors on the show. And I want to shout out to you for exploding that dream just now. So and your nephew's here.
Oh, thanks, buddy.
I say here short of Vegas when the border opens. Exactly.
Yeah, that's I'm definitely itching. I need a Vegas trip. I need a culinary Vegas trip. High-end dining only.
Oh. I was gonna say that sounds like a story.
There's
a story behind that.
That's going to be the next trip, is that I love food and I miss the culture of food from Calgary, and I'm not a gambler. So the next time I go to Vegas, it's going to be high-end dining only. And I do have a friend in Vegas that will help me plan this to get me into these restaurants.
Oh.
So it should be good.
That's right. God is working through us all right now. That's absolutely right. Katie says count her in too.
Awesome.
Oh, there's a story.
Julie, you just never mind.
We can go off air with that, ladies. I want to hear. She's doubly in. Oh, that's awesome.
Everybody.
Everybody's in on the world tour. Oh, world tour.
There we
Okay,
go.
we need to write a book about this and then go on tour and sell the book.
We can do that.
Okay, yeah. I have so many things going through my head right now. Holy crap.
Well,
I won't be able to sleep tonight.
Well, that's what I was going to say. You need to sit there with a pen and paper and start brainstorming ideas. And if you need any, if you get stuck, let me know. Because then I'll take these two, and then we'll go.
We'll be in touch after our birthdays and see how it went. And yeah, we'll definitely be brainstorming and making our dream.
We'll talk over guns.
Yes, guns, ammo. I love it.
Guns and beer works for me.
Perfect. What's your favorite beer?
I don't really drink beer. Who am I kidding?
Oh, I was gonna say.
I like a good Manhattan, and I like a nice big doobie. But I mean, I'm not really a drinker.
Well, I can connect us with both of that.
Thanks, Evan.
Isn't her smile amazing? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Oh, Jessica, this has been truly what I needed for the day. Thank you so much for being on here. We laughed, we cried. We have definitely exploded our dreams here. And I definitely got to go back and listen to this one for sure, because I have missed a bunch of different things. I was making, honestly, I have a whole page of notes here from your talk, but I have to go back because there's just so much in this episode. And if this resonated with anybody, please share the episode and get it out there so that we could get more people hearing Jessica's story and seeing how awesome she is. And really, I know her story resonates with a lot of people, and a lot of people can definitely be helped by this episode as well. So if you wouldn't mind doing that, that would be absolutely amazing. And if you're listening from the YouTube channel, Unstoppable Overcomers, can you please like and subscribe to my channel? Please, please, please. That's all I ask. Again, Jessica, thank you for coming on, and thank you to our amazing guests for being here tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure seeing how much love that you have here in the comments, Jessica. And I'll connect you and Jenny as well.
Yeah, and I really appreciate the opportunity, Dorothy. I love to share my story. I love to just let people know that I'm real and authentic. And like you, I'm going to do a little plug here. If you'd like to follow my story, I am a plus 40 TikToker, and I can be found the Sassy 174, TheSassy74, and I post on there, try to do it daily, and it's just real, uncut, unfiltered content. So, but
what was that again? I'm going to try and tape it.
It's the Sassy 174.
The Sassy 1-O-N-E or 1?
1-O-N-E.
Oh, and the number 4?
74. Yeah.
74. All right. I'm putting it in the comments.
Awesome.
There we go. Check her out. I'm going to go check you out later too on that. I didn't know you had a TikTok thing.
I do.
I'm not really on TikTok, but I will go do that.
Yeah, please do. It's a good platform, and I mean, if you have time to spare, you'll be caught down the rabbit hole in for 4 hours, and then be like, "Oh my God, where did those 4 hours go?"
I don't have 4 hours to spare. She wanted to know. Katie wanted to know if your Toronto wardrobe change made TikTok.
No. My wet pants, no, and I didn't have to put my gym shorts on, but just hustle, people, hustle.
Oh, I love it. I fear there's more of a story. I can feel there's more of a story there, but we'll let it go for now. And maybe we'll have Jessica back on at a later time so she could share that story.
Well, thank you so much, Dorothy. I really appreciate you taking the time. I appreciate everyone taking the time to come out tonight and listen to my story and listen to what Dorothy has to say. And everybody have a great long weekend.
Exactly. Toodles for now.
Adios, everyone.